Hey everybody, thanks for watching again. Today's story is when I met Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols and also Klaus Nomi, kind of a double header. I'll do a longer Klaus Nomi story, but I was friends with somebody called Lance Loud. Lance Loud and his family were the very first reality TV show in America here on public television. They had a TV show where cameras went into their homes in the Midwest in the 1970s. I met Lance 77, so this could have been like 74, 75, 76. I'd have to Google it to find out. It was called All American Family. You could probably YouTube it. And this was supposed to be a typical, day in the life of a family in America. And they brought cameras into the house, and one day Lance decided to put on a dress and a makeup and come downstairs and tell the world that he was gay. Now, back in those days, that was a big deal. I mean, if we had the internet, it would have broken the internet back in those days. It blew up TV like crazy. Anyway, they became celebrities, the family, and Lance was the wild boy, like I was. So they moved to New York, and can't live in a small town when you do that. So back then, Lance came to New York, and we hooked up a few times, and we kind of had a thing for each other. A lot of people lived in some place on 23rd Street, which is still there, called the Chelsea Hotel. And the Chelsea Hotel was kind of a catch-all for junkies, rock and roll artists, poets, musicians, painters, the crazies. But it was really fabulous old school hotel. You walked into the lobby, it was filled with paintings that the residents did. They would do paintings and just put them up on the walls. It was really a colorful, amazing place. It had one of those grand staircases like the Ansonia Hotel, and the rooms had really high ceilings, and they were big old school pre-war hotel, building and stuff like that. So there was something going on called the New Wave Vaudville show in 1978, and it was at what's the name of the place? It'll come back to me in a minute. Irving Plaza, on Irving Plaza and 16th Street in Manhattan. It used to be an old Polish dance hall, and couple of people in the East Village, I think Ann Magnuson was part of it, a couple of other people decided to put together, Kevin McDermott was the MC. I'm going to put a link so you could see this, the Klaus Nomi debut, do like a talent show. It was called a New Wave Vaudeville show, and it was kind of like a talent show for all the local people in the East Village. And it was just this fun, hey, let's put on a show kind of thing for everybody in, the downtown crowd. So Lance came up to me, and he knew I had music, and he had a group called the Mumps, which played CBGBs and Maxes and all those places. And he said, I'd love to do a song with you. Let's do something. And I said, sure. What do you want to do? Now, at that point, disco was dead. If you said disco, that's when they took all those disco records at a stadium and put gasoline on top of it and burned a whole bunch of disco records, and people wore t-shirts, disco is dead. They really hated disco. So I said, let's be sacrilegious and let's do the Sex Pistols, which were huge, Anarchy in the UK, disco style. So I got a twisted sense of humor. So we did Anarchy in the UK, Giorgio Moroder, I Feel Love style. We got leisure suits. I had a keyboard around my neck, like a keytar, they call it, weird 80s, guitar solo. Lance had a microphone, and we did, Anarchy in the UK. So Lance says, come on over to the Chelsea. We came over. I think we fooled around. And then afterwards, let's figure out the chords to this. And I said, okay. And I had a little Casio keyboard, and we're trying to figure out the chord progression. And as I mentioned in another video, I can't read or write music. And Lance was a singer, didn't know much about music, and we're trying to figure out the chords and how it progresses. And all of a sudden Lance says, hold on a second. I know somebody who can help us. He opens the door, walks down the hallway, and I'm picking out the tunes. And in comes this, you know, punked out rocker, half stoned out dude and his skanky girlfriend, which turned out to be Sid Vicious and Nancy. You know the movie Sid and Nancy? That's them. Sid Vicious from Sex Pistols. And I didn't know who it was, and sat down, and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and brought his guitar, and he's showing me the chords, that one to that one. And he sat with us to make sure that we got the chord progression right, and took 2 or 3 hours. I didn't know who this dude was, just that they needed a bath, and they smelled like cigarettes and musty, stale New York City underground clubs. And later found out it was Sid Vicious. How cool was that? We did the new Wave Vaudville show. We were in there. And I remember, we did it. It was great. People loved it and all that kind of stuff. And we went back upstairs to the dressing room, which was sort of like one of the side rooms where everybody had. You didn't have individual dressing rooms, it was just a dressing room for everybody. This is 1978, and my record came out in 83, 82, 83, or 83, 84. So we're sitting in the dressing room, and all of a sudden the music stops, because when you're back in the dressing room, you hear this whoa, 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 this just echoey thing of stuff, and all of a sudden everything goes quiet. And that's when you take notice something's wrong. You go, oh, did the sound system burn up or something like that? And we hear some classical music, and I hear this opera music with this friggin' amazing voice. And somebody comes in, you gotta come out here, you gotta see this is unbelievable. This guy is singing just like a girl, like a, but not fake, like really, really real. And I walk out on the balcony, and I look down on the stage, and it's open. There's a strobe light going, a smoke machine, and Klaus Nomi, he was nobody then, it was his New York debut, in a clear plastic raincoat with arched eyebrows, makeup, and his hair. People ask, why is his hair a certain way? It was supposed to be a crown on top of his head. And when I asked Klaus, why Nomi? It was a play on, hey, do you know me? So that's Klaus Nomi, like you should know me, or do you know me? So I was like, wow, that was amazing. We applaud. I'm gonna put a link, and I think you can hear me whistling in the background. And we go back to the dressing room. Klaus comes in, and everybody's all over him. Oh my God, you're amazing, this is incredible. And he got up and he came over to me and he said, hello, my name is Klaus. And I said, hi, I'm Manny. He goes, yeah, you do music, I like your disco music. And I said, well, I like what you do. Oh, we should get together and work sometime. So we wound up working together. I worked on Klaus's 3 albums, and there's a rare version of I Feel Love that we did, just coming over, fooling around, turn the tape recorder on, hit play, let's do I Feel Love, da 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 da, and Klaus sang in his made-up language. Also, the language you're going to hear in the video, if you click on it, it's all his own language. He, in fact, one of the words is Idi Amin, who was popular in news at that time, who was the, that dictator. So there's a little Klaus Nomi history. We became really good friends. I'm going to do a whole other story on Klaus, because when Klaus was one of the first people to get sick, it wasn't called AIDS, it was called GRID, gay-related immune deficiency, and they gave him penicillin because they didn't know what it was. So when we went up to the hospital, we had to wear gowns and masks, and we were afraid it can come from your skin or doorknobs. That's a whole other story, which I'll talk about. But I got to meet Sid Vicious, and I met Klaus Nomi, 1978, New York City, downtown. Thank you so much for listening and watching. There's so many more stories I got to tell you. Please subscribe if you can. It really helps the channel. I read all the comments. Thank you so much for letting this happen. This is my book, and it's unedited, direct to you. Have a great day. Thanks, or night. Bye.